And you would draw them vertically. And I don't like the way they do this because then you have to teach the student on vertically. So 30 to 39, 40, 49, 50, 59, 60, 69, 70, 79, and 80 to 89. And that's, of course, your classes. Now, you could do it like this, but you have to put a line down here, and it's just, I don't like doing it.
This is intervals, so that's class?
Yeah, classes, interval. Yeah, they call it words to try to confuse you.
All right.
Just classes. Frequency, F. That would be 3, 23, 35, 25, 5, and 1. And then the rest is what you need to calculate. So the midpoint, good. That would be X. That's your midpoint. I'm going to do the first one for you, and then I'm going to switch over to the okay, did you get something, Vanna? No, it's done this before. It hangs up. Vanna did it. I'm supposed to blame somebody. I can't take the blame myself. Y'all just, oh, you think I'm drawing all over it? You think? Alright. So X is your midpoint. When it does this, then I have to stop and go and start everything back up. I hope it is. I'm just going to do it this way. That's your midpoint. Then what else? Then you got to square X. And if you can draw better with the mouse, you come up here and do it. Unless then, shut up. Because I can't draw with the mouse. And what's going to be out here? What do you need for your formula? F times X. F times X squared. So go ahead and be making your chart out. And then I'm going to switch over to the Excel spreadsheet to keep it organized, because you don't want to look at a whole page of this, especially with me drawing with the mouse, because that would suck.
This is the formula we use for
That's, yeah, standard deviation. Mean is what? The summation of F times X over what? N. We've got it, we're at. Yeah, let's do that. So you're used to driving. Not much worse than the van. Yeah. Well, less monotony would be driving. If you go to class economy, at least driving, you get to be outside and inside. I'd say go with the driving. Well, they probably pay about the same. Do they pay the same? Well, then I don't know. I don't know if I'd go to assembly line versus a. I'd have to really. I wouldn't probably take either one. I'd probably just go get a ditch outside. Yep. All right. So here we go. Take it over to our handy dandy Excel spreadsheet. And I may already have done this one. I don't know. Check the numbers and see if I've already done this one.
89 is 1, 80 to 89
Okay. Okay, so what I do is I go over here, and this shows you why, if you want to do a spreadsheet, this shows you why, because you don't have to punch it in. You just go here, copy table, go to your Excel spreadsheet, paste, and you're done. And your values are right there. And let's see if I can get it where y'all can see the others. I can't. I'll get. There's the first part. So we'll do this part first. Y'all look over those numbers. That should be the numbers that you get. This is what I copied and pasted over right here. The rest of it calculated because I already had the formulas in it. Make sure you can fill out your own table before we move on after this problem. I want you to make sure you have at least one or two problems in your notes that you can go back to. Yes, ma'am. Gray, that's your gray. And then and that'll be your blue. Here's yours. The first column you did is right here. Okay, now do your second column. That should match up with these numbers. You know what you started to do? X squared. Oh. X is 34.5. 34.5 raised to the second power, it should be 1190.25. Hey, Miss Black.
I'm not.
Where's Mr. Potato? Whatever he wants. Okay. Let's all leave. You want to leave? Let's all leave and go hide in one of the hallways. See him sitting here by himself for a while.
Everybody turn around and look at me. I'm serious. I'm doing it. I'll do it.
What? Woo! Anything a mile away.
It's kind of creepy.
What'd you say? You don't like to go to the mall and watch people?
No.
Oh, I love it. Huh? Yeah. I love to go to LA Walmart on Friday and Saturday night, with the doors locked, of course, and sit in the parking lot and watch people, especially the crackheads when they come on. The LA Walmart is scary.
It's scary every day.
Yeah. That's LA, yeah. Go down there after 12. You want to show up anytime? Where's my biscuit? Well, I figured you ate breakfast since you come in at, what time did you class? Yeah, just come in whenever you want. We're doing this problem. I want you to draw the normal distribution curve with the mean and 2 standard deviations to the right and 2 standard deviations to the left. And I think you can get an Excel app for your phone. You might want to check it out because I've got it on my phone. And see, that way, if you could pull your homework problem up in your phone, you could copy and paste into your phone, and that way you could do it in your phone. I will let you use your iPad on your test and when you're doing your homework, it's not in here. And you can thank your girl from last semester on that.
Why have you got the stuff on the front of her?
That's the way the
Straining
world
my
evolves.
eyes.
The minority rules. You didn't know that?
It's not that this is good for my eyesight.
What'd you say?
Good for my eyesight.
It's a
Straining my eyes.
It's Bush's fault.
No, it's the color.
What?
You need to change that.
She's talking about her on her phone.
Oh, okay.
What number of homework number was it?
It's not on the homework. I pulled it out of study plan, so it's I'll
This is
see if I
just
can
an
find it in
example?
your homework. Yeah, this is an example. Huh? I already covered that. You wasn't here. Take these two numbers, add them together and divide. So when you've drawn your normal distribution curve and you put 2 standard deviations to the right, and is there one? Is there one to the right? It is. Yeah, what's it called? Or just pull up Excel? Okay. See it there?
I never been in a front
No. I tried to just say, what did I tell y'all about Friday? It's Friday, okay? And you don't like put in, yeah, put it on there, but I don't want anybody to come in on Friday.
This supposed to be 8 cents.
Oh. What time? 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
Okay, as long as you don't say 1 or 2, because I'm gonna be gone.
Oh, would you rather Thursday?
Thursday would be better.
Okay, well, we do Thursday 10 to 11.
Yeah, I'll be in my office.
Yeah, because see, I'm gonna need a little help with stuff there.
I do go to my son's cheap lunch at 11, so
Okay, well, 10 to 10:30.
that'd be fine. I have to get out of my calculus class after they get through asking me questions, so I should be in my office right around 10.
Okay.
I'm down to 224. That's where I'm at, just in case. You can read that on there. I think it says 224. On 8 to 10. I'm going to use y'all today. Remember y'all else for it.
So change this from 225 to 224.
No, don't change it. I just may have my number.
Okay.
No, let me look at it. Is that calculus? Yeah, calculus 223. Okay, 225. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right. I'll be in 220. You'll hear me. I mean, if you come looking for me, you'll hear me. I'll be in either 224 or 225. But they usually try to let them go early because after 2 hours they're mush.
Well, I get out at 9:25. You want me to come and join the class?
Yeah, you can do that. And that way I can just help you move. You don't have to move.
So that's right there, that represents frequency, like in that formula.
Yeah, that's given.
No, I mean like, yeah, right over there. Like that X, that represents frequency, and then.
Times midpoint.
Where's the name? What is the X to the second? What's its name? The name, what's X to the second? Is that,
That's just the midpoint raised to the second column.
yeah, so it
We
is
don't
not.
have to manage none.
All right, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you later. Glad you could make it.
I did, I just.
Don't be in, don't write, that don't cheat. What goes in the middle? What number goes in the middle? Hmm? No. What is the truest measure of center in statistics? The mean. So the mean goes in the middle. So what were y'all doing? Talking about, were you watching the videos? What you talking about?
Said it's hard enough to watch it first. I don't know if all they watch it.
No, because it would be offensive and you were complaining about it.
Hey, I don't get offended. Go ahead.
So? Everybody has copied it. Why haven't you copied it?
He wasn't here.
Oh, so
He didn't walk into it.
yeah, he walked in on it. Sorry.
Maybe you don't get special privilege.
Yeah, just because, you know, just because you're with a dot, you know, you don't get special privileges. There you go.
I don't know how to word this thing.
Well, I figured all this out, but I don't know what I was referring to as far as the purpose, which I wasn't here on Monday, and I haven't.
That's why you don't have a clue.
And I haven't watched the video.
And you haven't watched the videos. That's what I did. I give y'all videos, y'all don't even watch them.
I'm glad that you have those out
I'll watch
because
them.
when I took 120, I tried to go home and do X, and I could not figure it out.
Who do you have? How couldn't you figure it out? I had videos last semester.
I had to use like my first semester. Before we did video.
The rude class.
Huh?
You were in the rude class.
I wasn't rude.
Was that the one that had the 4 queens?
Oh, God.
Hey, Mackenzie's my friend.
Why do they act like they going to Yale? Why do they act like that?
Like what?
They act like they're at Yale University. Why do they act like that?
No, I didn't. Mackenzie dog. Mackenzie. You know Mackenzie.
Be quiet.
I know Mackenzie, but you wouldn't think it the way she did. Hey,
Huh? What are you talking about?
I don't.
Keep walking.
Yep.
What?
Did she not hear what I said?
What do you mean she just keep walking?
I would say, hey,
Oh,
and she would just keep walking.
she probably didn't hear you. She's really boring. She probably didn't realize.
Well, that's acceptable.
She's real busy.
So all 4 of them, is that what their issues were?
I think so. They went to the west side. That was the issue.
Yeah. Okay, well maybe that's it then. Maybe I just have my water stuff.
They're all really nice. They're not. They're all really sweet because I don't like rude people.
You don't like rude people?
I don't like
Okay,
stuff
then
that's
not rude. You're not rude then.
They're not.
Could you move that up a little bit?
You just want all kinds of stuff, don't you?
No, I'm trying to copy it down before I go.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right, the second part, there's the actual formula. There's the mean, 5104 over 92. Check your numbers. And then here is your bell curve. Hold on a second.
It's too difficult. I don't even know
I quit.
how to
I feel wrong.
Best thing to do is quit. It's real easy. What?
She said you can start. I used to live in the country.
Yeah. That's the best thing to do. Live in a ditch.
Well, I can do that, but I was trying to figure out what
I thought I didn't have videos in that class, did I? I was starting.
No, you didn't.
I think after that semester I started doing it. I wanted to leave that class out.
I remember this one day you got so mad. And it
I
wasn't-
was, and
it
it,
wasn't funny, but
one of the reasons I got mad was because that class was so rude. That class was
so
rude.
mad.
What did I get mad about?
Is that some people were on their phones?
Yeah, the class was
That
just
wasn't
so
all that
rude.
thing.
Y'all were just like that one girl. Where is my curve? I guess I just have to freehand it. There. Now we're going to talk about, now that I've refreshed your memory on what we did last time, and that's all this. Okay? This is where we're going to take off today with the empirical rule. Now, what page was it on? I don't know what they called it in your book, but what page was it on? 386 and 387, somewhere in there. I was mad too. Oh, rude people. Yeah,
How do you use this thing on the side?
I don't know. Did it talk to you a couple of times?
Listen, I cannot find the keyboard.
Okay, 386 and 387. You probably have to click on a cell on your keyboard. Will probably pop up. Is that an iPhone or what? Yeah, it's not. You should be able to click on it and your keyboard should come up, or you should be able to put it down here and type in whatever you want to. Ms. Black, did you get it to work?
I downloaded it. I didn't.
Okay, see if you can get yours to work. I mean,
Yeah, I know that, but like, where's it?
formula bar. Go to formula bar. I thought I saw formula bar pop up. I don't know. It's doing everything it's supposed to, but your keyboard's not coming. I don't know how to get it done. You just got to go up here and play with these menus to see if you get the keyboard to come up. Probably have a keyboard toggle or cut it on and off. All right, now page 386 and 387. The empirical rule looks like it's at the top of page 386. I don't know why it has different pictures of, okay, it's got different percentages, that's it. But the actual, it should have 34, look at 34 and 30, let me show you what it's supposed to be shown out of the 120 book. This is what you're looking for in your book. Right here. I know, we already established that. There it is. That's what you're looking for. Vanna, blow it up a little bit. Please. Vanna. Vanna's, she don't know, look at him on fire.
Can this phone have a shortcut?
No.
Or we still got to go for it?
You have to go through it by hand, yes. I'm only going to give you probably 10. You still have them? Well, then you probably still use them. Did you find it out? Or did you do it?
I'm not texting. I think we have to make an account.
Okay, try that. Ms. Black, you got to make it.
I'm not sure though.
All right, this is the best on the empirical rule. That's what it's called. Now, I don't know what they call it, but they can't even put the right picture on it.
I quit. I'm not doing this. I'm getting so mad.
Just use your iPad.
Can I?
You can bring your iPad as long as you keep it flat on the desk so I can see all the porn that you're doing.
What?
It's a joke.
Stop. That's disgusting.
You don't even.
I'm not throw up.
All right.
outside of 2 standard deviations, what is the term we're looking for outside of 2 standard deviations? Well, what's within 2 standard deviations? 95% it falls within 2 standard deviations. That is called normal, or for those of you that are perfect, normal. So 2 standard deviations, 95%. So if I measure each one of your heights and I crank it through and I do the standard deviation and the mean, 95% of you will fall between 2 standard deviations. Then what's outside of 2 standard deviations? Well, the third standard deviation, or outside 2 standard deviations, right here, I'm going to put unusual. And right here, unusual. And then outside of 3 standard deviations is called what? Starts with an O. Outlier. That's your 6-foot second grader. Or your 300-pound first grader. Or your 2,000 on the SAT. Or your 5th grader that makes 1,800 on the SAT. How about that? Or whatever it is. Yeah, because you use calculator. All right. So outside, right out here, put outlier. And on this side, put outlier. Liar is L-I-E-R. I guess. Or A-R. I don't know how to spell it. Probably E-R. Now, there is one little thing I want to mention about the percentages. Each book gives you different percentages. All right. The standard that everybody uses, bring it down again, down, so I can draw it. In other words, when I'm teaching up here, you got to go on down further. It's not working. I'm going to tell you. Just take that off. Take that off. Take that off. Take that off. Change this to 5. And take that off. So it's 2.5, 13.5, 34, 34, 13.5, and 2.5. Most of the time when a teacher is teaching, they're going to rattle off those percentages. Get on the nerves. I mean, this was doing this, and that's why they bought these purple cords, $200 cords. Okay, so just forget it. I can't write on the board now. No, it'll probably work. So that one's 2.5. That one's 13.5. $34. And same thing over here. Okay, everybody with me? That's basically what you're going to see whenever, you're not going to see a statistics teacher going, well, this is 13.59%. You're not going to see that. He's going to say 13.5 and 2.5 just for application. And one of the reasons is hardly anybody ever notices the outlier because very few people fall in that category. I mean, see the percentage? So that's, I guess this old saying is negligible. So what they do is they just mark this out as 0, and they cut off this 0.9 and give it to this, and give that 0.3 to this, or 0.13 to this, and it comes out to be about
That's why I
2.5.
rounded up to-
Mm-hmm.
And that's why that's the,
So that's why when you are introduced to any statistics, whether it's in a 301 class or a 101 like 120, or most of the time that's what you're going to see as far as the empirical rule. You're not going to see it down to the 100th. Okay?
Do you want us to know the outline?
Not only if they ask to, I just want you to know this. This is what you need to know just off the top of your head. Okay? That 95% falls within what? 2 standard deviations. Okay? And in between 2 standard deviations is normal. Outside of 2 standard deviations is unusual. So, go back to your problem. And there is your, I did have it drawn up here. There we go. And take your handy dandy straight edge, virtual straight edge maker. And there's 1 standard deviation. And 2 standard deviations. Now, whenever I show you and this is true in a lot of 120s, whenever I show the normal distribution or the empirical rule, I always have a student that goes, I don't know how you got those numbers on the bottom. No matter if I go through it 5 or 6 times. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm speaking above their head or what. I don't know, but they just come back and say, how'd you get those numbers? Well, what always goes in the middle? The mean. So that right there is your mean, which is right here. Alright, that's your mean. And then if you go to the right of 0, which is the center of the number line, what do? Do you add or subtract? Add. What's the only other number that we have beside the 55.47? What's the only other number we have up there? Besides the 55 that's in color, what's the only other number that's in color? 9.8. That's the only 2 numbers that register in your brain. Okay? The mean and the what? Standard deviation. Why do you think we're spending all this time finding the standard deviation? Just so we can have it? No. We're finding it because we're going to use it. I love it when students go, what number are we going to add? I don't know. Just pick one. We just spend 30 minutes trying to find the standard deviation, and you're just going to ask, what number? So when you add 55.47 blah 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 to, or 9.8, 57 point blah blah blah, what do you get? Now I wanted y'all to take the calculator, take 55.478 and add 9.840. What do you get? You get 65.31, which is this number right here. And that's 1 standard deviation. And what goes in front of that 1 standard deviation? A plus or a minus? A plus, because you've taken the average, and what did you do? You added a standard deviation. So what do you do to get this number? You take this number and add what? 9.84 blah blah blah, and you get that number right there. And that's called what? 2 standard deviation. Before we have the Unit 1 test, somebody's going to ask me this question. I'm not on the clock right now. What?
Pull it back. I'm sorry. Your Excel.
No, go ahead. Let me pull it down. Hold on. This computer is. I think this computer is about to crash. I believe because it's not acting right. It won't.
I'm not here, I'm not figuring this Excel in my phone.
Well, why did the keyboard not come up?
Well, I figured that out, but I'm not really.
And I bring it back.
There you go.
I did double check.
Bring it back down.
Is that what you need? Does that help? I mean, is that the area you want?
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, Hubert.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good, man.
I can
I
print
might
this.
be that student, man. I'm gonna ask this question.
What?
How'd you get that 9.8?
How'd I get what? Okay, that's the nasty equation that's the nasty formula. Okay, I'll go over that right quick for you. Because I know some people wasn't here. You know, y'all both were out?
So you
Did y'all go to a
missed
party or what?
Super Bowl was Sunday.
Drunkards.
Who did? That was
Mr.
Monday?
Patel showed up drunk.
Oh, wow.
He's so dedicated.
That's why we were laughing so hard.
It was the pig.
It was so funny. I used to have Snapchats at like 3 in the morning, putting it on the story.
Yes, ma'am.
The second standard deviation, you add the first standard deviations and just add
You
another.
take the number before it and add one standard deviation.
See, I don't have a calculator.
That's okay. I'd rather you not have a calculator than be on the silent calculator team in high school.
Now, I can print this out right now. I can print out this Excel sheet that you've got right here from, no, I can't,
Mm-mm. I used to send it to students, but I don't do that anymore. Because one, they'd screw it up and then blame me for it. And then two, the people that would pull it up are people that don't know how to use Excel. And they would get mad at me because I expected them to use Excel. So if I don't send it to you, you can't say I expect you to use Excel. So I don't send it. All right. So what does this mean? This means, let's go down to the dang old curve. Okay? Let's say that these are heights of people in Math 120. I have no idea what the homework question was asking. It may be the number of fruit flies on a tomato. I don't know. But the whole point is I'm just making up something. I'm making up something. Yeah, but I don't understand. The problem didn't say anything about ages. All right, I'm just making this up. The average height for a person in Math 120 is 55 inches. And between 75 inches and 36 inches is normal. What would be unusual? 78 inches, 80 inches, 90 inches, and 34 inches, and 30 inches, and 24 inches. Unusual. The reason you can't say outlier is because an outlier is outside 3 standard deviations. So let's do a third standard deviation. It's real simple. What do? You take this number and you add what? You add the standard deviation to it. You just keep adding it. And on this end, you take this number and do what? Subtract the standard deviation.
The unusual would have to be within the outlier and the.
There it is. Unusual is right here. So take your highlighter on your empirical rule, and since green is normal, we'll color this. Hold on. Let's see if I can do this. I wish this. It's not working. I click on something and it don't work. There is something wrong with this computer. No, I don't do that. Hold on. You'll be all right. that area right there is what? Normal. So that's why I painted it green. Normal. Alright? This area between the second and third standard deviation, what is that? That's unusual. Okay, so we'll paint that maybe a pink. Dang old. Yeah, that looks like a pink. There's a little bit of mauve. Okay, mauve. We'll say mauve. So the mauve is unusual. Now, what is the outliers? The outliers is what basically makes up the remainder of your 100%. And it just keeps on going and going. But you're talking about around 0%. So take that dang old color it red. No, I don't like that red. It's too bold. Hold on a minute. Where's more colors? Huh. What happened to more colors? Let's go with that color. So there is your. It's a conspiracy. That's all it is. Oh, I see why. Bump it. Y'all get the point. Y'all with me? Okay. There. So, what would 86 inches be? An outlier. And 24 inches would be an outlier. But 29 inches would be unusual, and 78 inches would be unusual. And then, of course, 36 to 75 would be normal. And that's how you should be able to read, and that's what probability is based on the normal distribution. In other words, let's say that we could set these bottom numbers up into the number of wins at poker. Okay, out of 100. And then you put that on a graph. Then you would know how many games people usually win, how many they lose, and what is considered what? Unusual, and what's considered an outlier. And then you could put odds to those based on unusual. Why does Vegas not put odds to normal? Because they don't want to give their money away. They put it on the unusual and outlier because they want to bet on the ones that don't happen the most, because that way they keep their money in the bank. Okay? Yep.
So the 84 and 20 are outliers or
Unusual is the mauve right here. There's the unusual. So dang old put a U. Dang old black. Dang old.
So point spreads are unusual and outliers, or is that too?
No, that's the point spread is to give you something to work with as far as, understanding the score. In other words, if I tell you that I'm going to pick Seattle, and Seattle's got the point spread of 3 plus 3, that means that they are supposed to win by what? 3 points. If they win by 4, you lose. If they win by 2, you lose. So, but if you hit it right on the money, what? You win, but what's the probability of hitting something right on the dot? Very low, very low. And if the probability is very low, that means the odds are very high. Vegas. They're not going to put millions of dollars in the bank to let you play a game where the probability is high. Because they'd be in the charity business. They'd be giving away money. You got it. How'd you get
You have to have
You have to have an account,
Which
Ms.
is
Black.
the stupidest thing, because that was the most complicated thing ever. trying to
It's
get an account.
it's a conspiracy.
Anything.
All right. So just to make sure,
You said 84 was an outlier? You took the whole thing, you didn't have
84 is right on the unusual. 84 would be unusual because this is 85 right here. 85. That would be 85. So 85 is this mark right here.
So anything above.
85. That's an outlier.
Outliers.
Anything between 75 and 85 is unusual. Unusual and outlier, do they mean the same thing? Pretty much yes. But if you walk into a statistician's office and say that's an outlier and it's unusual, they're going to correct you. Okay? Yeah. All right, now let's make sure you got one more, and that way you'll have 3 in your book. And we'll just, what was our standard deviation? 9.8. And we got it right. And it says consider the difference of 20. I don't know what this is asking. Hold on. By Miss Wilson.
This was a homework question.
Well, I know, but it's not in the homework. It's an example out of the study plan. It will not match up. It's like number 38 in the book, but I can't tell you which one is like online because it doesn't reference that. This says consider a difference of 20% between two values of standard deviation to be significant. How does this computed value compare with the given standard deviation of 9? I don't know. This is stupid. I don't understand the question. Consider a difference of 20% between two values. 20%, well, what's the mean? What's our mean? So 10% would be 5.5, and 20% would be 11. So 9 is closer than 11. So the computed value is more, if that's what they're asking. I don't know what they're asking. I have no idea what they're asking. The computed value, I don't know. I'll have to do some checking on that. I have no idea. Do this problem. I don't care about that. All right. Get you a normal distribution. Blow it up, Vanna, please. Get a normal distribution curve on this one. Therefore, you have to find the mean and the what? Standard deviation. And I'll get the roll while y'all are doing that. Hit freeze, Vanna, please. Make sure my down in the lower right hand corner. Should have a freeze button. You don't see it? There you go. Somebody what? Okay, Alston. Which one's Alston? Oh, okay. Bandy. Which one's Bandy? All right. Black is here. Bright is not here. Bright is drunk somewhere. Chapman. DeVoe, are you here? Why are you so quiet, Mr. DeVoe? You all right back there? You don't look like it. You look like you're mad. Franks is here. Jordan. finally. Kurz, she left early. Miss Martin is here. Morris is here. Parker.
Yeah.
Which one's Parker? Okay. I've had you in another class, haven't I? What was it?
Yeah, I think it was a really
Yeah. Oh, you sat in the back.
I said,
Oh, you did?
it's like
All right, Parker's here. Patel is here. Raines. Vanna. Vanna's name is Raines. Okay. We'll put Vanna in there. Then we put Vanna, take Parker out, put Vanna right there. Miss Swallow is here. Mr. Wilmerine is here, and Miss Whitson is here. So everybody's here except for Mr. Bright, and he's in a ditch somewhere. I'll show y'all my pigs. Now you can hit the unfreeze button. Vanna. Just hit it again. Let's see. There they are. Just open the stupid thing. You have to save it. I don't know where it is, so it's easier for me to do this. Well. There they are. I got 2 Dalmatians. Yeah, 2 Dalmatians. They're little puppies. There's 12 in all.
Please get a little my birthday.
No,
It's next week.
I hope they ain't dead when I go back out there today. How the piglets died, you know? Mama sits on them, yeah. But they're pretty good. Whenever one of them squeals, they get up. So they're pretty good. Let me show you the other one. I cut the sound off because my mama and me, we all country and I don't want to hear it. There's the Dalmatian. I don't give them to anybody. I'll sell them. I'll raise the sows or the females, and I'll sell the little boys. I'll make them little its, and then I'll sell them. Get them up to about 200, 220. It's called top hog, and then sell them to the local livestock, and then they'll ship them somewhere to feed them on out and make them into bacon and sausage and all that good stuff. Yep.
So you said yours was about 200, you said you got sales of quarters done.
Mm-hmm.
So we did fund those when
Yeah, I can send you to somebody that would sell it, but I'm not.
Well, one person was gonna go hunt a wild hog and put it on concrete and feed it rubber food
You
for
can't do that.
X amount of time.
You're not supposed to. You're not
But they
supposed
was
to.
going to.
Well, you're not supposed to do that.
Why?
Well, you're not supposed to sell it.
No, they were
A
gonna
wild hog, you're
Yeah,
supposed to. You can cook it and eat it and do whatever, but you're not supposed to sell it.
Well, they said if you eat it right and kill it, it's all breathing and stuff, but if you put it on concrete,
Mhm.
masticate, feed it
Yeah,
like
you can
that.
do that.
Did
but
it taste like
You can't sell
regular hog?
it. Yeah.
Is that true?
What?
Did it taste like a regular hog? Really?
It's still got a wild taste to it, but it takes about a month of feeding it to get the wild taste out of it.
Oh, okay, so that is.
Buttermilk does a lot too. If you like pork chops, soak it in buttermilk. That'll take care of it too.
What about your
Red wine vinegar and buttermilk.
red wine
You soak it in red wine vinegar for 24 hours, and then right before you cook it, you soak it in buttermilk for about an hour.
Is it not juicy?
Yeah.
Is all
It just
that-
takes out that helps draw out the wild taste.
Yeah, I like it all.
Mhm.
Yeah, I like deer jerky, that's the
Yeah.
one. Other than that, it's all good.
Is this the problem we're doing? Okay. Now I'm going to show you something. Trick I learned in the war. Dang old.
Swear something on.
It's 10:43 right now. So I'm going to copy this. Copy. Go to the Excel spreadsheet. Go right here. Hit paste. And now, are the intervals, are the classes different? Yes. So I got to change them. 20, 29, 30 to 39. Oops. 40, I'll be there in a minute, to 49. 50 to 59. 60 to 69. And 70 to 79. Guess what? I'm done. It's 10:44. So that took less than a minute. Some of y'all are just now getting through writing the problem down. My
But I
standard
don't have a
deviation.
smartphone. I only have an iPad too, so.
Well, you can use the iPad.
You said I couldn't?
Now, yeah, I told her she could, so that means you can. Just keep it flat.
Well, it's not doing me any good. I don't know how to work it.
Okay. That's cause you're a loser.
I don't know how to do this.
What are you trying to
I'm
do?
trying to swear this summer, and I did that whole raising.
Okay, equals. Yeah.
My iPad doesn't have it, so
Raised to
it's a Microsoft
the
program.
second power. And copy that thing.
Yeah, my iPad doesn't have Microsoft Excel on it.
Well, she didn't have it either. She
You have two
downloaded it.
downloads.
For free?
All right, get your numbers to come out like mine. Here's my two numbers. Of course, check yours, make sure mine's right. Let me give you my numbers up top so you can check yours. What are you talking about?
Dude, that movie Frequency. They had Dennis Quaid and it's the dude that played Jimson.
He also played in, this is another movie I watched, was Sylvester Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger in prison. I think it was a warden.
Yeah. Well, it,
Right.
no, it's
Something.
something from the East. Yeah, that was a good movie.
What did he play in? What movie y'all talking about? Frequency.
Frequency, that was an old movie. It had Dennis Quaid in it, and it has Jim Caviezel with dedicated Jesus. And I believe, wasn't that his son? And they were seeing each other 2 times, and like it was. They were talking over the radio. Yeah, talking over the radio. That's what it was.
Man, I love time movies.
Yeah.
Oh God, I love time movies.
So standard deviation.
Standard deviation, yeah.
I'm on the board.
Here, it's up here. Hold on. I can't write it because of the stupid computer. There it is.
I know.
Yeah,
Work it
but
out.
I'm saying like, where you, like what?
Well, hold on.
I think
Right here. There it is, right there.
that doesn't make sense to me.
Well, what is this?
That's the frequency.
No, what is this?
N.
N.
Okay.
What is this? That's the summation of x, f times what? X squared minus f times x, the summation, quantity what? Squared, over n times what? N minus 1. That's the formula. hold on, I'll write it up here. Let me do this. Let me pull this down.
I was sitting missing something that I got.
I'll do it for you if you want me to. Okay. Insert. Just dang old insert and don't ask me no questions. Alright. Since I can't write with my pen, I have to do it with the mouse. Standard deviation is equal to the square root. Try to do something and then go irritate. Alright. Of n times the summation of f times x squared. And that's one part. That's your first part. And that's right in here. Minus what? The summation of f times x what? Quantity squared over n times what? Times n minus 1. Okay, so there is your formula. Even though it looks like an old lady wrote it.
Now, when you put it in the big calculator, like, doesn't it, if you put it in the wrong way, you need to, like, break it up?
Well, it needs to be, that's what this is for. So you take these two numbers right here, and you multiply them two together, and you get that number. Then you take this number right here, it's already done because it's in your, up here, and you square it, you get that number. Then you do these two, and you get that number. Then the next step is to take these two numbers and subtract them. You'll get this number, big number over this number. And that's the next two steps. Hold on. I think I did that over here. Right here. Here it is. The 1,007,500. How much money I got in bank? I wish.
This is just too much. We don't want you to drag it down. Like you gotta do it.
If you put your finger on the bottom right hand corner, now pull it down. We gotta have something here. Okay. Oh,
9.9.
okay. Now, copy or field, one of those two. Okay, I know what. Okay, got it. All right, go back to the formulas. Okay, click on 73.5. All right. Give us the, okay, now. I need to get back on that.
Ah, okay. I don't know because I couldn't figure this out by myself.
All right, now, when you do it all,
I wouldn't do it by like this.
check your numbers against mine and see what y'all come up with. I got 46 for the mean and 10 for the standard deviation. 10.08.
I think you said you take that one number and divide it by the other number. Those two right there, but 22, 167, 500 divided by 1.
And that's this. And then you take this and divide by this. And then that's your variance. And what do you do to the variance? Okay, remember what I told y'all. If you get confused, go back to the what? I wish this thing would work. What do you go back to? It's not the formula. What does it say do after you get the variance? Square root. Now my standard deviation came out to be what? 10.1. So here should be your curve. Check it and see. No yawning in class. There you go. Now, the homework and the test may ask you for this, this, and this. I want you to be able to get the mean and the standard deviation and do this. Because this is what you're going to be doing up until chapter 6. So, you might as well get used to doing it. So, what's normal? What is that? 25.82 up to what? 66.17 or 66. So whatever you want to round to, whatever they ask you to round to. I'm not going to be all crazy about that. Okay? Just make sure. Make sure. Now listen. On the test, if it says round to the 10th, you need to round to the 10th. Because I will not give you credit if the directions say round to the 10th and you round it to the nearest whole. Or you just get the ball what? Directions. So make sure you read the directions.
How are your tests online set up? Is it similar to the
I pull them from the homework. And I only pull questions that I go over. I don't pull questions that you've never seen before. If I do, then I want to know about it. Yes? Okay, say again, I couldn't hear you.
Like, you see how you have one thing, 2 and then 3, there's 7 sixes of those standard deviation.
Yeah, I just did that so y'all know what an outlier is. Outlier would be out here.
Well, we normally don't do that.
No, usually you just go to 2.
So 66 and 25.
Yeah. Question, gripe, complaint.
Question, Peter, please.
Wait,
No.
I have a question.
Now, wait a minute. Let's say class is over at 11. I still got 5 minutes because some of y'all are acting like y'all fixing to leave or something. Yes?
How did you do this again?
You click on the right bottom corner.
Okay, I did that this morning.
That's supposed to be. It's not holding out. Copy. And go down.
That was 6 and
You didn't paste order.
No, I didn't.
No, I thought you did. You did it.
You
Don't-
said paste format last
No,
time.
paste. I said paste. What's the opposite of copy? Paste. I can't.
I think that's what you're saying about
Here, let me
Okay,
get my
I'm gonna have
text on.
copy. And then go down. Okay, you're gonna have to do it. I can't do it upside down in my big finger. Okay, yes.
right here.
Yes.
All right, I got this one to tell because, I told you that I put the thing up, it was on story for full-time office. So, this is what I'm talking about. So, this first page.
Well, we are, I have no idea.
No,
I think we're in 6 right now.
Yeah, we're 6A. But as far as your outline, it says 5B, 6A, 6B, 6C.
Well, I gotta see what 6B and 6C is on, but right now I'm just teaching y'all the concept. And I don't know what that covers, I'll have to look. I know it's covering what we're doing, but it's also covering, this guy, like, it's great. I find meaning something, we're gonna build that,
Okay, but with that being said, well, I've already done 5A and 5C, whatever homework. So since we covered 6A today, does that mean I go to do 6A?
I don't know if we covered 6A, I can look right
It's
quick.
right here.
You got it?
Yeah.
This is 6A. Meaning, no, do not do 6A, because I have to cover it. Not yet. So y'all just work on 5. After Monday, or what today is today. After Monday, we'll be able to do chapter 6. But I wanted to do this first. And the reason I wanted to do this before you do test grade, so before you do this data, because this is what causes this right here. this is what causes y'all so much trouble. Y'all can't get to there, and that's why I wanted to do it first. Y'all can do test grades because y'all been doing those since 7th grade. So you hadn't done the standard deviation by hand. But we're going to do it by hand, and I'm going to show you how to do it on the Excel, and I'm going to show you how to do it on your calculator. The reason I don't show you how to do this on your calculator is because most people don't want to do it on your calculator. They want to do it on this because you don't have to, what? You don't have to type in the numbers. You just copy and paste. But if you don't want to, that's fine. I'm not telling you you have to. I don't know where y'all get that. But anyway, make sure